Imagine for a moment that you're walking through the gates of your favorite Disney park. The music begins to play. Cast members welcome you with a smile. Families laugh as they rush toward their favorite attractions. Everything feels magical. But here's something I've always found fascinating about Disney. Behind almost every magical story is a moment where someone completely misreads another person. Sometimes it's because they're lonely. Sometimes it's because they're afraid. Sometimes it's because they trust too easily. And sometimes the clues were there all along. Today we're exploring how Disney has quietly taught us about reading social cues for decades. Not through lectures, but through unforgettable characters and unforgettable stories that came with it. Welcome back to Jacob's Guest Lounge, where magic meets reality. Today you're my guest as we explore what Disney can teach us about reading social cues. This is one of my most personal episodes because, like many of you, I've struggled with understanding people myself. Even when I think I know what I'm doing, I still find myself second-guessing situations. That's why I'm excited to have this conversation, because we are all still learning, and who better than Disney to help us explore it? Picture yourself opening a giant storybook, or putting on your favorite Disney movie. As the pages turn and the opening scenes begin to unfold on TV, you aren't just entering one Disney story, you're stepping into several different worlds. The snowy kingdom of Arendelle, the Pride Lands, a small puppet workshop where dreams come alive, the bustling city of Zootopia, and a quiet French village where appearances aren't always what they seem. Each story is different, yet everyone asks the same question. Can we truly recognize who someone is? Let's begin in Arendelle. Anna has spent most of her life behind closed castle doors. No friends, no real relationships, no opportunities to learn how different personalities behave. Then comes Coronation Day. The gates finally open, and within hours, she meets Prince Hans. Imagine you're sitting in the ballroom during Love is an Open Door. Everyone is smiling, the music fills the room, and now just imagine watching the exact same scene, knowing Hans' secret. Nothing in the animation changes, only your understanding changes. Sometimes perspective changes everything. Disney intentionally presents this scene like a classic fairy tale. A charming prince, a hopeful princess, a chance encounter that seems destined to become happily ever after. Anna and Hans finish each other's sandwiches, they laugh together, and they joke, along with the modern version of Jinx! They sing Love is an Open Door. The animation is bright, the music is uplifting. Everything about the scene invites us to believe this is true love. The excitement is so overwhelming that it just becomes easy to stop asking questions. Just like Anna, we're caught up in the emotion of the moment. If you've never seen the movie before, it's easy to root for them. Then everything changes. Near the end of the film, Hans reveals that his kindness was never genuine. His plan had been about power all along. Looking back, we realize something incredible. Disney never really hid the truth. We simply experienced the story through Anna's perspective. Anna didn't miss the clues because she lacked intelligence. She missed them because hope became more louder than observation. Her longing for connection filled in the blanks before she had enough evidence to truly know Hans. Sometimes our greatest emotional needs become the lens through which we see other people. Have any of you ever wanted something so badly that you overlooked what was really happening? And while you're thinking about your answer, here's something personal. I've been there too. That's one of the reasons Anna has always been one of the Disney characters I can relate to the most. Like her, I've experienced loneliness, and when you're longing for connection or a relationship, it's easy to believe that you found the answer before you've really gotten to know someone. That's one of the reasons this lesson has always stayed with me. Now let's travel to the Pride Lands. Young Simba looks up to the adults around him, especially his family. Scar understands exactly how much Simba trusts the adults in his life, and he quietly uses that trust against him. Notice how Scar rarely raises his voice. He stays calm, patient, even comforting. After Mufasa's death, Scar convinces Simba that the tragedy was his fault, and Simba believes him. Not because Scar presents any evidence, but because Simba trusts his uncle. Manipulation doesn't always sound angry or threatening. Worse, sometimes it sounds very reassuring, and it can come from people we've already decided to trust. That's what makes it so difficult to recognize. Growing up, I rarely questioned the adults in my life. Like many children, I simply assumed that they knew best. Looking back, I realized how naturally trust develops within families. That's what makes Scar's manipulation feel so believable. Simba isn't foolish, he's trusting. Have you ever realized that trust can sometimes make us overlook warning signs? Now let's step into the workshop where dreams can come alive. Pinocchio enters the world with endless curiosity. Everything is new, and it feels exciting at the same time. Then he meets Honest John. Notice something interesting? Honest John always seems so certain of himself. He has an answer for everything. He promises easy success, and he makes shortcuts sound harmless. Pinocchio mistakes all that confidence for wisdom. And Disney reminds us that those aren't always the same thing. People who sound convincing aren't always trustworthy, though. Real character isn't revealed by confident words, it's revealed through consistent actions. Confidence may capture our attention, but character earns our trust. When you meet someone new, do you usually trust their words first or their actions? Now, one of most Disney's thoughtful films about social cues is Zootopia. Imagine moving somewhere new, already carrying a picture in your mind of what life is going to be like once you're there. That's exactly how I felt when I first moved from my hometown to Boise. I imagined certain opportunities, certain experiences, and certain outcomes. Reality turned all of that to be a lot more complicated than my expectations. And that's exactly what Judy Hopps discovers when she first arrives in Zootopia. Judy assumes Nick Wilde is exactly what everyone in her family says foxes are. She also believes Zootopia is a place where anyone can become anything they dream of being. Nick assumes that Judy is just another naive bunny, with good grades and all of that too, I might add. He believes that she'll judge him simply because he's a fox. Both characters interpret each other's behavior through stereotypes and assumptions. As the story unfolds, they both discover they're wrong. Judy realizes that even a city built on big dreams still struggles with fear, prejudice, and uncertainty. Nick discovers what it's like to genuinely trust someone who believes in him, and who better than to partner up with Judy Hopps to have all that be his guiding rock. The more time that they do spend together, the clearer each other's true character becomes. Disney reminds us that first impressions can be helpful, but they aren't always accurate. Sometimes the biggest obstacle to reading people isn't deception, it's our own assumptions. The more we're willing to listen, observe, and learn, the more clearly we begin to see the people around us. And similar to what Judy Hopps says, the more we understand each other, I say this in the same way with absolute confidence that we can do the same thing for all of us. That the more we understand each other, the more our world can heal and we can truly be united. When was the last time someone completely changed your first impression of them? Now, perhaps no Disney story truly captures this lesson better than Beauty and the Beast. The Beast appears frightening and he is selfish. Gaston, on the other hand, appears the most heroic, confident, and admired by everyone around him. If all of us judged only by appearances, Gaston would seem like the obvious hero, and the Beast would seem more like the villain. But Disney slowly reveals their true character. The Beast learns humility, kindness, patience, and above all, selflessness. Gaston, on the other hand, becomes increasingly selfish, prideful, manipulative, and ultimately willing to destroy anyone who stands in his way. The transformation isn't physical. It's revealed one decision at a time. Character is rarely discovered in a single conversation, even though as much as we would love for that to be the case, it's revealed through repeated choices. And that's true in Disney, as it is in real life. Reading social cues isn't only about recognizing manipulation. It's also about recognizing sincerity, kindness, and the people who consistently show up with honesty and compassion. Sometimes the greatest lesson isn't learning who to avoid, it's about learning who deserves our trust. Next question. What consistent qualities have earned your trust in the people closest to you? As we close today's discussion, one lesson connects every movie that we've explored. Anna reminds us that loneliness can cloud our judgment. Simba reminds us that manipulation often comes from those we least expect. Pinocchio teaches us not to mistake confidence for character. Judy and Nick both remind us to challenge our assumptions. And Belle teaches us that appearances rarely tell the whole story. Disney doesn't just entertain us. Through its stories, it has quietly invited us to become wiser observers, not only of others, but of ourselves as well. So the next time you meet someone new, remember that reading social cues isn't just about becoming suspicious of everyone you meet. It's about slowing down, paying attention, listening, and allowing someone's actions to tell their story over time. Sometimes we'll get it wrong, and sometimes we'll misread people, and that's okay. Learning to understand others is a lifelong journey, and every experience teaches us something valuable, no matter how old we are. So before we leave the lounge today, I'd like to leave you with one final question. The next time someone enters your life, will you judge them by a first impression, or will you give their actions enough time to tell their story? I genuinely love to hear your answer. So please leave a comment on today's episode and don't forget to vote in this week's poll. I always enjoy hearing your perspectives because they often help all of us continue learning together. Thank you for spending time with me here in Jacob's Guest Lounge. Next week we'll explore one of the most interesting questions Disney fans have debated for years. Is Disney really just for children, or is it just as much for adults? If you enjoyed today's conversation and would like to hear more episodes like this, be sure to follow Jacob's Guest Lounge wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also visit www.loungewithjacob.com to explore past episodes and stay connected with everything happening here in the lounge. And if you know another Disney fan who might enjoy these conversations, I truly appreciate you sharing the show with them. Until next time, keep exploring the stories, keep asking questions, and remember, sometimes Disney's greatest magic isn't found in castles or pixie dust. Sometimes it's found in helping us better understand ourselves and each other. Keep the magic alive, and I'll see you all back here in the lounge.